Alright guys, we need to figure out how to play EBRs because we think we're driving correctly in EBRs, but we're not. And how do I know this? Well, because people have been saying I'm driving it correctly when I can see you're not. So, first thing about EBRs, you almost always want to be in speed mode, okay? Like, there's no real reason you're gonna be in this fucking X mode. I call it X mode, but I suppose it's like, tourney mode. I literally see people, like, they get close to a tank, and they fucking start driving like this, okay? They get close, enemy person right there, and you just, like, what is this? First of all, you lose control of your tank, right? Because it's, like, too responsive almost, and you're slow as fuck. How you're supposed to play EBR is you're supposed to make micro adjustments, right? You're supposed to be tapping your X key, right? And so, here, I'll do a little bit of a loop. So people sometimes turn like this. That's not. Let's zoom out and see exactly what that. So people turn like this. This is fine sometimes, right? Sometimes people will turn like this. That's also pretty good, right? But you lose a lot of speed. Look how I'm down to like 70, right? You don't really want to turn like that. How you generally want to turn is you want to tap the X and then tap it back on while holding D, right? See how quickly I turn there without losing any speed, right? And if I need to do a full turn, I can do that, right? And you can go X, but how you know you're playing the EBR right is you're only tapping the X key very, very lightly, right? And a lot of the time when you're doing sharp turns, you don't even want to go into X mode, right? You want to stay in fast mode, right? And tap X while only holding something like D, right? So right now, this is me holding W and D, right? That's me holding W and D. This is me just holding D, right? But when you want to turn really quickly, you want to tap. I can't do it while speaking, so it's going to be, I'm going to tap X. I'm going to hold D for a second, then I'm going to start going W again. So ready? And look how fucking fast I go without moving it, without losing any speed, right? The initial little X moves, like, kind of jolts my tank to the side. And then by holding D, it's going to use that momentum to get me around. And then I'm going to conserve a lot of speed and start pressing W again. Like, unless I'm kind of doing some runs where I'm fairly far away and I'm kind of parallel, like ridge running and shit, I'm generally not holding W and D or A at the same time, right? When you're turning in an EBR, you're generally not holding W. Like right here, it's just A, right? It's D, A. I shouldn't have ran that there, but I'm just trying to prove a point, right? So this is literally all D. This is all A, right? That's the good thing about the EBR. You don't lose much speed with it. So when you're turning, you want to normally be in speed mode with the tap, like we've just been showing you, and hold A or D until you're completed your turn, right? So I'm gonna let go of W. I'm letting go of W now, and now I'm holding W again, right? So it's like a triple tap. It's like, I'll do it very slowly here. It's X, turn, X, W, okay? And the amount of time you stay in your turning configuration is kind of the amount of time you're gonna take, right? Or how much you want to turn. So something like that. If I want to turn fast, but I want to maintain some speed, I'm gonna go X, X, and then finish the turn off in fast mode, holding only D, right? Right, so I wish I had a keystroke here, but I'll show you. So X, D, X. Well, okay, I can't really say it. It's fucking difficult. I'm not, my mouth can't keep up. But by now you should be kind of seeing. And you can see me switching on and off X. So you know what? I won't say the X I'm hitting, but I'll tell you if I'm hitting turn or W, okay? So here we go. Just pay attention to the X yourself. Turn, and then W. And notice how I switched on the X and finished off the last maybe 20% of the turn into speed mode, but only only holding the speed button. So now, I think we're going to get you guys to do this. I'm actually going to go get Drew real quick. And I'm going to tell him to shoot me.
Sound resumed.
Drew, you there?
Yep.
Okay, when I start moving, count to 5 and then start shooting me, okay?
Start shooting at you?
Yes, start shooting me.
Sure?
Yes, I'm quite sure.
Sound muted.
Alright, so he's going to start shooting me here, right? And we're going to try to get away from him. And he's probably going to get this first one in. He's not moving. He should move. But see how I'm always tapping, right? And he's never going to be able to hit me. And if he wants to do some... And see how I'm keeping my circle tight but my speed up? And if he wants to do that bullshit, I'm going to get under his gun here. And he's going to put the shot in. That's a good shot by him. But you're always tapping, right? And this is a fast tank that he's playing. And so you can easily see right there, I could have played that better. We're actually going to go in, and I'm just going to get him to shoot me and kill me as fast as he can. And I'm just going to stay away from him. And you guys can kind of just see how I'm playing it. Do a little challenge, see if you can get in with a buddy and you can survive longer type of deal. I'm going to go tell Drew right now.
Sound
Drew.
resumed.
Yeah.
Go to the mid and kill me.
Just kill you?
Do whatever you have to do to kill me.
Yep, got you.
Sound muted.
Right, so we're going to go back in here. He's in his 277. The Chieftain is actually slightly more dangerous to the EVR because it's got slightly better soft stats. And it actually turns a bit quicker. But you can see, if you're able to stay away from like a 277, then you should be able to stay away from anything slower. IS-7s are very easy. Wheezies are easy. The two hardest heavies to stay away from are the Chief and the 277, right? Now, you're not going to stay away from 9.0s much. I'll show you a little bit of a bait trick here with Drew. I hope he doesn't fall for it. Most good players will only fall for it about 50% of the time. But it's turning into their shot at the last second. We'll see how that works out here. But he's going to try his best to kill me. I'm going to try my best to evade. Obviously, in the real situation, you'd be using ridges, right? I'd be running ridges and he actually would never even spot me type of deal. But here, so he's going to put his first shot in and we're going to come in. And we're just going to, he's going to go for the ram like a good 277 player. And notice here how we just kind of baited around. And see how if I'm not tapping that, by the way, if I'm not tapping there, he's going to get his turret around. And he derps it into the track there. So now I'm going slow. He's just fired right. I need to get more speed here. And that actually doesn't work out for him. He's actually going to derp that into the track a lot because of what was going on there. So I'm going to get the speed here, and I'm going to try that little bait I was talking about. So we're going to turn right in front of his gun like that. He fell for it, right? And see how I'm tapping like that? You got to be tapping. We're going to do it again, see if he falls for it. He shouldn't have the gun depression, and there we go, right? He's falling into the exact trap I'm saying he's going to fall into. And now this is actually a misplay by him because he's letting me take speed here. And again, I'm tapping. See how I'm keeping my speed up? He's going to have a hard time. Now, I overplayed that one, and he's going to get... But we're going to try to angle in. And see, again, you can bait. You see, I know he's going to... He doesn't have a big window to fire, right? So I'm going to bait him as best as I can. And here, when I'm turning, I'm mostly hitting just one key or the other. I'm going to turn it again. Oh, he's firing HE now. He's damaged my wheel. So here I'm going to get out and reset. I said I wouldn't use terrain, but we're going to use a bit of terrain just to get speed here again. And you can kind of see, right? I'm a pretty good EVR player, but Drew has decent aim, and he's going to miss this one most likely. No, he's going to derp it into our tracks again. And here, you do want to take point. And we're going to do this again, but we're going to bait to the other side this time. Right? And you'll notice too, I've just got a feeling of when he's going to fire. We're actually going to go in front of him here. Okay, that was retarded of me. But you can see, I was talking. You'll notice I get a feel for when he's gonna shoot, and I'm kind of baiting him just at the last moment. So you can see, like right here, if I'm using this terrain properly the entire time, like he's not even gonna have the gun depression, right? He doesn't have the, like, do you see how I'm waiting to crest? He's gonna kill me. I'm just gonna let him. Okay. I'm waiting to crest before I know he's got the gun depression. So not only am I trying to bait him and maneuver around him, right? I'm waiting until he doesn't have the gun depression to make my maneuver, and he's gonna turn his, yeah, see, there you go. I knew he was gonna do that. And I know he's gonna do this, 'cause I'm literally saying it before he does that, because he wanted to try to bait with his turret there, and we should take the ridge here. He should kill us, but you'll notice we're just kind of baiting still. And you can see, if I really want to, I'm gonna survive against him essentially forever. And I think what would be a really good challenge is to see in this situation our EBR players, how long they can survive, because like I said, I don't think we actually really understand how to play the EBR, and at least how to drive it. So I'm going to go in one more time with Drew here. And I'm actually not going to get him to really fire. I'm going to get him to stand still. Drew, can you go to the mid and actually just kind of stay still this time?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sound muted.
So he's laughing. He missed some HE. He derped some HE shells into the tracks. But the thing is, with that, because his gun is lagging behind my vehicle while he's turning, like he's just barely getting it on, plus with server reticle, that is actually a lot of the time going to hit the wheel. Now, you don't really want that as an EBR driver, but it's better than obviously taking damage, right? You really don't want your wheels damaged, because then it's normally a death sentence. But you should be able to see how I'm constantly kind of tapping and switching between modes quickly. Like, I'm not normally in this slow mode, right? Now, you'll see when I'm very close to him, I'm in it more than normal. But when I'm just driving normally, you're really never in it. So we're going to go over a couple little cool baits you can do with your EBR. You've seen me do a couple of them, right? A couple is where you come in, right, and you just kind of turn right around them. There's a couple good ones like that. A lot of the time what you can do is you can try to bait them into the ram, right? You'll go in and then you'll tap off and then get in front of them. I obviously fucked that one up because I'm retarded. But there's a lot of cool little tricks you can do with your EBR that revolve around tapping that X and getting that speed. Because it kind of swing, you kind of feel it swinging out, like it kind of like drifts your tank. Even though the EBR doesn't drift, it kind of feels like a drift, and it's hard to get used to. Like, but you can practice maneuvering close, and the closer you get, obviously, the better it's gonna be. Obviously, I'm not doing anything special here. I don't really want to fuck up on camera because I know I'm going to fuck it up, because some of these maneuvers are really hard, especially getting so close. But you can come in like that. See, that was a pretty good one, right? And then stay in behind them. You see me doing that a lot. I'm using just these ridges to get a bit more speed because I want to show you guys. You can come in and then dip out. I don't really know much else to go over. I guess I'll just kind of drive around. But you can see that if I want to win that 1v1 against Drew, I'm going to win that every time. You can see too that even I can use some practice, right? I mean, I'm not brawling that much in EBRs. We more use them to scout. And I'm normally playing at range. Like, you really shouldn't be brawling your BRs, but fuck it, we get into those situations a lot for some reason. So why not actually just drive better, especially when you're in close proximity to a tank. Now that's what I'm really looking for, and that's what I would argue the good EBR players, like what I'm able to do better than a lot of people, and what we should be able to learn is how you're going to not necessarily maneuver around that one tank like we were doing against Drew, but maneuver when there's like 6 or 7 tanks in the way and you're kind of looking at all their guns, right? So imagine there's 6 Drews, but there's a fight going on. It's actually harder for both of us, right? I have to kind of keep track of all of their guns and decide on the best route, and that seems really fucking difficult, and it is. But by the same token, they have to try to track me or decide, okay, it's not worth tracking him, I should shoot something else. And a lot of time, it's going to be, if you're a good EBR player, the enemy's going to decide to shoot something else, right? Because it's just not worth their time to look for the shot on you if you're doing it correctly. Now, that's not all the time, obviously, and that's in very specific situations, but I saw one of the EBR players on Redshire just absolutely doing this retard shit. He was playing like this. He was like doing... Actually, let's try. Let's fucking try it. Let's exactly play it like I've seen people play it, okay? See if we can actually do something.
Sound
Drew, shoot at me, okay?
Okay.
Sound
So Drew's
muted.
gonna shoot. We're staying in fucking X game modes here. He gets one in. We're kind of circling him, but I'm actually circling smartly. That wasn't a great demonstration, but I think you kind of get the point. It's much better if you're cycling through both of them. I can't really think of anything else you need to know in the EBR. In terms of... Oh. Okay, I guess we can do some EBR versus EBR action.
Sound
Can you ready up in an EBR, Drew?
Absolutely.
And just come kind of fight me in the mid?
Yep.
Thank you.
Sound muted.
Alright, so we're going to do some EBR versus EBR action here. How do you fight EBRs? Well, previously, you definitely didn't load HE. With these new HE changes, I don't know. Because the HE on this thing went down, 75 millimeters. It's kind of shit. I still personally think you need to fire APCR in an EBR 1v1 unless you've got a desperate shot and you need that HE. And so we're not going to really look to win against him here. We don't really care about that. I just kind of want to show you how you want to engage in EBR. If you're at decent range, you want to zoom in and use your lead time, right? You've got really nice APCR, 1300 meters per second. If he gets parallel to you, or sorry, perpendicular to you, and you can, I suppose it is parallel, and you can keep him that way for a second, you can auto aim, and you'll see me. I'll try to make sure I get a couple of those angles in. I'm gonna go tell Drew to.
Sound resumed.
Drew, fight me.
Oh, okay.
Sound muted.
So here we're gonna fight here. He's gonna get the first shot. I'm gonna try to go into cover. And so here, I'm not gonna fire, but see, this is how I want to aim that one, right? I'm not zooming in too much. You never aim like this, really. Like I could, like that's okay, but I don't think we're quite good enough aimers yet. I'm not sure how he's aiming right now to be able to do that. But so he's wheeled, right? And I'm gonna aim in like this. This range about where I'm at is about where you don't want to auto aim anymore, right? So you want to kind of aim in like that, right? See, it's very smooth. And so I'm gonna actually get him to bait me into a shot here. And when he's shooting me, I want to be perpendicular to him like this, okay? Because that's going to, especially if he's auto aiming, give me the best chance of ricocheting. So you can see if I'm chasing him like this, I don't want to zoom in too much, right? We've been talking about that. And so I want to go perpendicular. There you go. See? He's going to miss that actually a lot of the time. A lot more than you'd think, right? So here, we're going to put one more shot in, just regular. That was a good little maneuver by him. It's not going to matter. We actually missed that one. He puts his in, but we're going to show you how to auto aim here. So we're going to make sure that he's perpendicular. He's actually going to turn out here. He's going to be forced to turn out. We're going to come into the ridge here. And we're going to, well, he's actually not turning out. We turned out. Okay, but now he's going to run. Okay. And see, as soon as he gets, wow, that should have actually hit. But as soon as he gets perpendicular to us, we are going to fire. We're going to try to kite him, like we're going to turn in. And there you go. He misses. Again, that's just the feeling. We're going to keep the auto aim on him. We're going to try to get him parallel to us. As soon as he is, we're going to fire. And there you go. All right. We're going to do that one more time. Just to maybe solidify some shit. And you can see how when I'm baiting him, that I'm kind of feeling it out, right? I just kind of know when he's going to fire because I know when I'm in the best position for him to fire. So when I know that where the most advantageous position for him is when I want to do the bait, right? So we're going to do this one more time. Just brawl me out again here, Drew.
Okay.
Sound muted.
We're going to do this one more time. And you'll notice still With EBRs, you actually want to basically keep as much speed as possible. You'll notice I'm really only losing the speed and going into that X turning mode when I'm close and I need to bait the shot up close. Otherwise, I'm kind of just relying on my speed and RNG, right? Because everyone can aim. You have to assume they're going to be able to aim, right? And at ranges where EVRs normally brawl, you just have to try to trust your speed and RNG. Because you, like, right, if he's like 200 meters away, I'm not baiting him by doing this, right? He's just got, his APCR is too fast. You'll notice I don't know if he was shooting HE actually, but he might make the mistake of firing too early here. So what we're going to do is, for this brawl, we know he's going to come up, so we're just going to turn in early, and he did fire early. And see, it's very, very easy shots if you know what you're doing. So we're actually just going to spend a couple shots baiting him here. I'll tell you when I would click, so there's an easy click. And we're going to turn in, and we're going to do the auto-aim one again. Oh, he's going for the ram. We're going to say no there. We're going to play this ridge. Okay, we can kite him. Let's see who kites this ridge better here, right? This is not an uncommon situation. He's going to come over. We need to turn out, and he gets us. I hope that wasn't auto-aimed, by the way, Drew, because that actually loses if you auto-aim. So we'll have to ask him about that. Either way, really good shot. We shouldn't have got... I think we rammed each other early. Yep, we should have turned out of the ram. We didn't actually get to run that ridge like I wanted to. He came up and over. Which he should get punished for every time, right? I should punish him every time for doing that. I wasn't really expecting it. Normally you don't do that. But good for him. We'll go one more time here. I'm going to make sure we don't ram because I want to show the shit. I know I've been rambling. It's probably getting repetitive at this point. But these are like things that matter. Especially since we fucking just lose EBRs left, right, and center. We also need to understand runs in EBRs. Obviously, I cannot go over that in this video, but I guess I can start with like your spotting points on the tank, right? Like right here is like a spotting point on your tank. Like if you can just peek that over or something, you're gonna spot everything. So obviously I'm in fast mode, and like I was saying last game, we're actually gonna turn out, and hopefully we're gonna get him to fire early. I suppose we're going to be at the ridge at the same time, so that's not going to happen. So we could auto-aim here, right? If he's right in front of us, it would make sense to auto-aim. But we're going to chase now, right? We're going to go out of X Games mode, and he makes a good play. We know he can't turn again, right? Because even though he was in X Games, right, and he turned, he's going to have to get speed. And here we're going to flip the ridge, and he's going to miss again. So we're going to come over, and this is a pretty good auto-aim, but we know he's going to turn, right? So we're actually just going to stay on the auto-aim, and let's turn into him here so we get the auto-aim, right? So you see how I turn in to make sure that my shell's going to connect? We'll do that again, and I'll kind of zoom out so you can see, right? So I'm letting my auto-aim circle do all the work. I'm just kind of maneuvering my tank. I actually can't see the ridge here. He could be in a really nice position, but we're going to come over, and we're going to wait until he's perpendicular. There we go. And actually, I probably shouldn't have fired that, right? Because he was just turning out of it. I just barely got it. And now we're going to go for the ram. And so you can see the two ways you're aiming with your EBR is zooming in, but not a retard amount. If you zoom in too much, you will never hit your shots. Okay, that's very important. Very fucking important. And you're not doing that. It's like mid ranges, right? At very close ranges, you can do it, but it might just be better to auto aim and wait for him to turn out or you to turn into him, right? That's like, I don't know. At the level we're at right now, I might just tell you to auto aim at that, but I timed well auto aim at very close distances. When we get a bit more comfortable, then maybe it's like a 50-50. Like I'll do some auto aim, some not auto aim. At mid distance though, unless he's just driving straight away from you, you're almost always gonna want to. So mid distance maybe 75 meters to 150 meters. You're gonna want to always just kind of aim in. And when I say aim in, it's like 2, 4, maybe 8 times zoom. We ain't going 16 or 25 times, right? I'm just gonna thank Drew here. Thanks, Drew.
Sound muted.
What was I saying? Zoom. Yeah, and anything over like 200 meters, if you're lit, fine, shoot it. Don't auto aim it. Just look for the cheeky shot, right? Don't fucking stop, right? It's just like a zoom in, shoot, zoom out type of deal, right? If it's at that range, or if you can, you stop and take the shot and with APCR. You like heat EBR 1v1 heat. Obviously sucks ass. You want to be firing APCR, and like I said, HE. Drew actually had me on 500 hit points there, and I actually had him on a one shot, but I think he had the reload on me, so it would have. That is the good situation for him had he loaded HE, right? Because he has to assume I'm gonna kill him, right? He was on 200, I was on 500. He has to assume I'm gonna kill him, but he knows he's got one more shot reload on me, so he should take the gamble there and load the HE, right? He's got nothing to lose. In his head, he's dead anyways. If he hits me, doesn't kill me, but then I miss, then he's just right back there again, and he can load HE or APCR or whatever he needs to do to try again, right? So that would have been the correct situation to load HE. With the new HE changes, so like I said, 75 millimeters, it's not awful, but EBR wheels still will absorb it really easily. So it actually does have to be fairly well aimed. It's really only good in close quarters, and against most other tanks it's kind of useless now unless you've got their ass. But again, EBR, you should be concentrating more on the spotting. So this video is not as important as how you actually play the EBR, but because we've been driving them so fucking poorly, I just felt the need to make this video. Like I said, though, I think it would be really cool to get our EBR drivers and stick them against like 277s like that, and see how long they survive, because I think a lot of us will be really surprised at how short of a time we survive and how quickly the enemy gets their turret on us, right? Because in the EBR, you'll notice, and I was calling this out, right? I was explicitly saying what I was going to do and what he was going to do. And if you notice, I was right about what Drew was going to do at least 50% of the time, right? And that's just from being a good EBR player and understanding how the enemy is forced to maneuver around me to get the shots, right? So that's another feel you just have to get by playing the EBR and getting the experience in it, and getting shit on or making good plays, stuff like that. But I mean, yeah, driving is the most fundamental thing in the EBR, and if we can't fucking drive, we can't play the EBR. I can't really think of anything else to talk about in terms of the driving and shooting. I think I kind of covered everything. Yeah, I think now, or the next thing to cover, is by far the hardest and the most important, which is the map awareness, the shrinking the map, controlling as much offside as you can, understanding when to aggress, when not to, running ridges, understanding your camo, playing your camo, right? A lot of EBR shots come down to, do I chance the shot, or how confident am I that I won't get lit, right? There's a lot of freaking factors you gotta take into account there. Other than that, if you think I'm talking bullshit, that's fine. If you think you are playing the EBR perfectly, well, I have news for you, you're not. And I know you're not, because I don't know how to I'm going to put this simply and arrogantly. I've got 3 marks and I'm still shit, right? Everyone can improve. Everyone is shit. If there was a perfect computer that played, I probably would never even get a shot off type of deal, right? So everyone can improve. Everyone can keep playing it. Sadly, the EBR sucks, and it's the worst thing ever introduced in the game other than the Chief. So I understand why people don't like playing against it. I don't particularly like playing it. It's toxic, but it is right now a must play, even in its nerfed state. Yeah, I think that's about it. We'll wrap it up here, just going over the recount of what we went over. So we talked about how you were driving and we're switching and cycling between the X, and you're almost always in the fast mode, right? And you're really only cycling maybe 70-30. That's the highest you're going to go in terms of the tourney mode. So 70 fast, 30 slow, and that's only when you're really close, right? You're still almost always in the fast mode. When you're turning, you don't really want to hold W and A or W and D at the same time. You kind of want to hard hold one of the turn buttons and then go into the W, right into the drive. When we're shooting, we can work on the two ways of shooting. Like I said, your aim in and your auto aim. Both are very, very effective in the EBR if you're using them correctly. And then the final thing I guess you could work on is baiting. Like I said, remember, there's baits where I said, okay, I'm gonna do this and he's gonna do that, and I'm not a magician, obviously. I can't tell the future. I may be Anakin, but my force power is not that strong. I just know what he's forced into do and what generally players will do when they're put in that situation, right? So if I say, oh, he's gonna turn his turret, or we don't have the gun depression, that's happened. Like I said, I'm not a magician. I just understand the game, and I had that feel. And then conversely, when I think he's about to shoot, or I say, okay, he's now going to turn his turret this way, right? I may not be wrong, or I may not be right all the time, but I'm right enough of the time, right, that it's going to keep me alive a lot longer, and it's going to let me get out of a lot of situations. And I think that's a really big thing we could work on, and not just in EBRs, and every tank is the feel, right? Just like, I don't know if we have any swimmers here, but when I'm swimming, right, and I'm out of shape and I haven't swam in a while, you can't catch the water. You can't feel the water, is what we say, right? You're like slipping through the water, and non-swimmers like, what the fuck does that mean? You can't feel the water. I don't know how to explain it other than I'm just feeling the water, right? And it's the same in tanks. You just have to feel your tank, and I know it is hard to explain. That's why good players are few and far between, right? It's not like any other game where if you aim well, you're just a god, right? You can't just have insane aim like fucking Asu and be great at World of Tanks. You have to have an insane brain, unfortunately. Now EBR aim does matter a bit more, especially with the 1v1s, but overall EBR play obviously is the brain. I think that's why a lot of us like World of Tanks too, because of that aspect. It's very unique in that way. Anyways, I've been going on for a while. Hope this one was helpful, guys. Trust me, we all have a lot to learn. I don't care if you've been playing EBR since it came out. Everyone can learn. Like I said, hope this was helpful, and see you guys on the next one.